All right, hello class. I'm here in Hamilton, New Zealand. I'm here visiting with Professor Mark Apperley from the Department of Computer Science at the University of Waikato. And here's Mark. So Mark does some really interesting research, and I wanted to give him an opportunity to talk a little bit with the class about the kinds of things that he does, working with smart grid technologies and a variety of other topics. Mark, would you be willing to tell our class, just to fill you in, there are probably more than 100 students in the class on any given offering, coming from about 40 or 50 different majors, many of which are not technical majors. And so would you tell them a little bit about the work you do?
Sure, I'm very happy to do so. So the focus of most of our research is around the way that information technology can be used to, let's say, maximize utilization of energy and really encourage, if you like, sustainable behaviour. And so that tends to span over several different topic areas. The first one would be simply looking at the way people consume electricity within a household and ways in which they might be able to, if you like, maximize the utilization of the energy that they use. So very much focused on the consumer. But we also take that to look at the more external or system perspective, and say take a neighbourhood of households and look at the way that they can interact together in order to optimise the use of the available energy, whether some of that's coming from, in New Zealand, most of our electricity comes from hydropower, so it's already, if you like, got a highly renewable source of energy. But there is some which comes from fossil fuels, and where the country is trying to reduce that amount. But so there's an increasing number of wind turbines, and these of course are intermittent, and so the ways of utilising that energy are most effectively, so that it's not spilled, quite important. So we're looking at that, but we're also looking at increasingly the sort of distributed notion of generation and storage. So localised generation, whether it be solar PV on the roofs of houses, or small wind turbines that are associated with maybe a neighbourhood, and then storage within the houses, so battery systems. We're looking at the ways that we can model that, and that we can look at maximising the utilisation of the available energy. So that's one sort of thread of our research. The other one is around transport and the way that people get about, and looking at the what is really extensive use of fossil fuels for moving people from A to B. And New Zealand being a country, if you like, on the other side of the world from most countries, and also with a population which is are habitual travellers, then we tend to have one of the highest air travel miles per head of population of any country in the world. And so that's of concern, because air travel obviously is a major user of fossil fuels. So we're looking at ways in which we can avoid having to do those long distance trips. As an academic, I go to a lot of conferences, so we're looking at ways in which we can arrange for virtual conferences to be a satisfactory thing, something that's not just a poor relation of a real conference, but something which has real meaning to it, and actually people want to go to a virtual conference because they know the sorts of opportunities that it has to offer for them.
And that's similar to one of the challenges that we face in this class itself. Since it's an online course, we're always looking for ways to make it hopefully better than a regular in-class course. I mean, do you see the conferences being similar structurally to online instruction?
Well, certainly the sort of widespread adoption of online instruction is one of the things that we're looking at in terms of the way in which we put together virtual conferences. I think there's a lot, the developments that there have been in MOOCs, for example, in the last few years, there's a lot to be learned from the experiences of people with MOOCs, because there are aspects of conferences which have a lot in common with that sort of class.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us. I look forward to sharing all of your work with our members of our class.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Bye, class.
Bye.
See ya.